Welcome. It's the City League Sports Show here. Hey, come on, good people. Turn your radios up for us today. All the listeners tune in. Get a little bit closer to your speakers. In studio today, we got my guy, Benji Burke. He's an Eastmoor alum, but he's so much more than an Eastmoor alum, man. This is a guy that is through and through a part of Columbus City Schools fabric and certainly knows his way around basketball. We're going to talk a whole lot of fun stuff. I'm your host, Dr. Vince Clarno. We're going to chop it up. Hey, man, say hello to everybody.
Hey, what's going on, people? Columbus City, I'm here.
Yeah. Hey, man, I'm going to dive right in.
Okay.
So tell me, I'm curious, because I know for our listeners that don't know, who don't know you, you know a lot of basketball history.
Yeah.
Been around Columbus your whole life.
Yeah.
A family been around Columbus, you know what I mean, for a while, and we'll get to that here in a moment. What is your first City League kind of basketball memory, whether you playing or not? I'm just curious as to when that starts for you.
East High, Cleveland, St. Joe, Clark Kellogg, Bo Castleman, Granville.
So tell us a little bit more about that, because I got that in my notes here. But tell us, why is that your first memory?
It was just because they was like pros to me.
Okay.
I was a young and looking, and we was at the fairgrounds. So
yeah, that was 79.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so, just being at that game, it was crazy because I can vividly remember Clark and them had pinstripe warm-ups. First time I ever seen that.
Okay.
So when they ran out, I was like, oh, man, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So, and at that time, I was still living out east.
Okay.
I was going to East.
Okay.
And so to see East play that game, I was just like, man, it's a memory. And so I wanted to be a part of that.
Okay. So who takes you to that game? Is that Pops taking you to that game? Is that a neighborhood thing?
That was my father.
That was your father.
We probably went to, that might have been 2 or 3 years in going to the fairground.
Okay.
But that game, and then I think maybe a year or two after that, Daryl Delaney kind of did something to me, seeing him play.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember Double D.
I remember the name. I certainly remember Castleman, them guys. Man, I remember the name, but not to that degree.
Delaney was, I think he was an 81 graduate.
Okay.
Ended up 5'11", built like a fullback, ended up going to Vanderbilt.
So a little bit like Todd Penn, Linden?
Yes.
Was he built like Todd a little bit?
Yeah,
Okay.
he was, man. And just a monster, man.
Okay.
So he ended up, like, everybody we was looking at Daryl like, man, how we going to be at that level?
Right.
5'11", dunk on you. I think when he played high school, it wasn't no freshman.
Okay.
So
we were still in junior highs and high schools then, baby, back then. Okay.
And so when he played, I think his sophomore year, he might have averaged 28.
Wow, okay.
And then it kind of went from there. No three.
Yeah, no doubt.
Everything was to the cup or floaters, but he was a super strong.
Just getting buckets.
Ended up having a great career at Vanderbilt. Still good friends with me, living in Michigan now. But
okay.
But yeah, that was just eye-opening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And back then, man, it was some guys back then. I mean, it was, man, we always say this. 82, 83 in that realm, to us, the city was the strongest it's ever been as far as competition.
Okay.
Every team, and at that time, Eastmoor wasn't good at all.
Okay.
But they had players.
Certainly.
So every Tuesday.
Back then, everybody had a player. Everybody had
Tuesday,
2 or 3
Friday,
guys
you
that
had
could
to
go.
Play.
Yeah.
And we knew that. It was like, man, even if we was playing, because it was like us, Centennial, maybe Westone was at the bottom.
Okay.
But, man, everybody had bigs. Everybody had guards.
Right.
And you had to play. It wasn't no off night.
Certainly.
You know?
Yeah. I asked that question because, as you know, and I've jokingly shared with you before, man, you all are the Burkes are the first family of basketball for Columbus City League, man.
Yeah,
you know,
that's good stuff.
And I share that jokingly, and there are others that certainly can stake their claim.
Yep.
But when you have your father, who was an all-league player at East High School, you come along, all-league player at Eastmoor. Your son comes along, all-league player at Northland.
Yeah.
Your daughter comes along, all-league player at Eastmoor. Then they tell me to say academy.
Right.
Eastmoor Academy, right? So like 4 members of your family, basketball junkies, all-league players, which means during your era, they all played well, right?
Yeah,
like no matter what era it was.
Right.
And so I'm curious, just from the Burks, man, when you sitting around and y'all talking, man, how does basketball conversations go?
Oh, it's crazy.
When y'all get to chopping it up, man.
So Amani says she the best shooter in the family.
Best shooter in, oh wow.
Yeah, and she has something to claim.
She got the stuff to claim that. Yes, and she was on the show before.
Okay. Oh yeah. Did I see that show?
Yeah, she was on the show. She was talking about when she went fanatically crazy in that OU game. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But so and Trey definitely being a competitor that he is, he's like, no, I'm the best shooter. So we talk about it, and then my father still has a court in his backyard that's it's like it might be from wall to wall here. It's full.
Okay.
It's a miniature full.
Yeah.
So we go back there and we shoot. Mommy got me the last time I shot with her.
Okay.
So you can't afford to miss.
Right.
We might go to 100 and can't afford to miss.
No doubt.
And so, but yeah, it's good battles, man. My dad still shoot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So like just him growing up hooping. Does he just? I mean, like, was it natural for you to just start hooping, or what was it? What was it pushed on you? Tell, like, give us a little bit about your journey, man.
So
like,
my father,
how does that go for you?
By the time my father left high school, he was playing in a morning league. What I remember, he was playing in a morning league at Cook Rec.
Okay,
it's Feddersen now.
Yeah.
So he would get off. All his guys would get off at night. I'm sorry, in the morning. And by 7 a.m., they in this league at Cook, and I would always go.
Okay.
And man, it was competitive.
Yeah.
So that's what got me into it.
Okay.
I was like, wow. And then, man, I just started meeting people that play the Kevin Whitlows, all those. And we've been playing Little League football, basketball, and then we just kept going.
Yeah.
So it's been, I mean, I still got relationships that's, the ball gave me that relationship.
Certainly.
Now we like brothers.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was crazy, man. And we never looked back.
So like, and it's interesting because not everybody's story is like that, right? Not everybody had a dad that could go. Right. Like, that ain't my story. My dad wasn't interested in hooping. My dad was a military guy. You know what I mean? So I kind of just found the sport by accident. Right, like what I mean, just being a kid and just trying to play whatever in the rec center.
Right.
They like, okay, today go kick soccer balls. We like, okay, let's go kick soccer balls. Wow. You know what I mean? And then growing into hoop, but in a family like that, where it's always going now you get into high school, you've seen some of these guys. You're talking about these, and I'm gonna share this because I remember, and we've had lots of conversations, and I know there's all these discussions about which era was the best. Which era was rocking and rolling. I'm going to speak this just so everybody can kind of hear it. From 1960 to 1980, 20 years of basketball in Ohio, a school from Columbus City Schools won the state championship 9 times. Half of them. In 20 years, we basically won half of them. And then if you go in and you look at the other 11 years that Columbus City Schools didn't win it, you got like a state runner-up, state Final Four. So there was a team that was right there.
That's
right. Yeah. So you start off with the East in '63. They won state, and then from there, from '63 to '79, you go 9 of them in 17 years. But if you take the 20-year package, 9 in 20 years, right? I don't know if we have anything that comes close. Do we got anything that comes close to that?
Not even close.
Yeah. So you come in, you were talking about the 79 season when East won the state championship. Clark went for 51, but East won the game though. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Bo Castleman and Granville both had great games. Bo was he was right there with Clark.
Right.
I mean, to us, we was like, he was just as good as Clark. And, Clark was like everything.
Everything, yeah.
I don't know if you remember this, how he shot his free throw. He should throw it up in the air. And catch it. And that was different.
Right.
So, those are the things you just don't remember. Don't forget.
Right. Right. So then you get into a high school. Here you are, you rocking and rolling. Let's talk about, so now let's dive in Eastmoor, man. What jumps out at you? Playing memories, you know what I mean? Experience, what do you share about that time period?
So, we didn't have middle school.
Okay.
Ball.
That's right.
They had
That's
cut
right.
it
Yeah,
out.
because it was gone for a little about an 8-year stretch maybe.
Yep. And so my father ended up getting a team, and we ended up playing in like a couple leagues. Barnett had a league. Champion Middle School had a league that was tough, and we played at Bethany Presbyterian on the carpet.
Yeah.
Upstairs on the carpet.
Yeah.
We played in that league.
Right here on Broad.
Right here on Broad.
Yeah, the Broad
and so
Street
I got
Church
a
League.
chance to play against all the guys that I was going to see in high school. I didn't know I was going to see them.
Right.
The Tony Nillies, the Whitlows,
Yeah.
you name them. They played in these.
Right.
And so we got a chance to battle when we was young.
Certainly.
And by the time I got to high school, it was just we had one of the best guards at Eastmoor. Didn't get a lot of run. Him and the coach didn't see eye to eye, but one of the best guards that nobody probably ever heard of was Donald Bell.
Okay.
Don Bell was
getting it.
high
Get
level,
it. Yeah.
high level D1.
Okay.
Just couldn't get it with a coach. But
Yeah. Sometimes them relationships don't work, man.
And so my freshman year played JV, and then sophomore year on started varsity. And so we made progress. Wasn't very good my freshman year as a varsity. Sophomore year made some progress. Then junior, senior year went to the city both years. Just didn't ever win them.
Right.
Yeah.
So who'd y'all play in the cities those years, junior and senior year?
My junior year we played Northland.
Okay.
Who
was at Northland? Who was over there?
A guy named Kimball Johnson.
Oh yeah.
Adam. The shooter, Adam Porter.
Yeah, okay.
Adam Porter used to coach at Ridge, I thought.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
So Adam Porter, they had Kevin Smith. They just had a squad, man.
Okay.
And they held the ball.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean?
No doubt.
Coach Signori would hold the ball.
Right. Make you work for it.
3 minutes, and then they backdoor.
Yeah, boom, layup, easy one. Yeah.
And then our senior year, we lost to Brookhaven.
Okay.
So we lost to Wayne Marshall.
Yeah, but the beauty is y'all made it back to back, right?
Yeah.
So your junior and senior year, you look across the landscape of the South Division, and y'all was rolling. Like, hey, look, come take a number.
It's crazy because we beat South. I got a steal with some seconds left to beat South.
Okay.
My senior year, they ended up beating us in the tournament and went on to the state.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, and I think they lost in the semis.
Okay.
Donnell Hughes, Tony Cube. Stretch Patterson. They had a big squad. Like their guards was 6'2".
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So they had a real big squad. But I just remember. Yeah, I remember all that, man. So,
Was there pressure in your house from your father? Was there pressure?
None at all.
Just go hoop, have fun.
None at all.
Yeah.
None at all, man. And he wouldn't. He was nothing like I was with Trey.
Okay.
Or Amani.
Okay.
You know, we come home, you just got to shoot more. I think if y'all did this, blah, blah, blah. He would talk to me as a coach more than a father.
Okay.
So I love that because.
Was you the point? You was playing the point?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that because I was playing free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I ain't have to worry about, you know what I mean?
Right.
I was like, and then the coach let me play free too.
Okay.
So, and he didn't let everybody play free.
Wow.
Ed Johnson, rest in peace.
Yeah. Coach Johnson. Why do you think y'all were able to forge that? Was it your basketball IQ? Was it trust? What was it that allowed Benji to get off that maybe some others didn't have?
I think our group came in and he enjoyed coaching us.
Okay.
Mike Davis, Todd Coleman, Pip Green. I think he just liked that group. Okay. Honestly. We followed up a guy named Frank Morrow, who was 2 years ahead of me, was everything.
Yeah.
Eastmoor. Sure, he went on a stretch, I think, maybe 8 or 9 games, 40 plus.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But
just every night, just come get it.
Frank, I seen him my freshman year probably dunk on more people than any contact.
Yeah. The real stuff.
Man. And so I seen Frank play free.
Right.
I don't know why he let, but some other guys he wouldn't let play free.
Okay.
You know, like Donald Bell.
Yeah.
Like barely, you know. So I don't know what that was about.
Certainly.
But we was lucky enough. He kind of let us kind of do our thing.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And I'm going to share, every once in a while, I share my little side notes. Coaches out there, if you got a young person who's trying, I'm not gonna say you got to meet them all the way, but meet them halfway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you have the superior experiences. Mm-hmm. You're the adult. Mm-hmm. It's the kid. The kid is lost. The kid is trying to figure out how can I take whatever little skill set I have and contribute. You know what I mean? Rather than prove you can run them off, find a way to bring them into the circle, get them closer. I'm sharing that with all you coaches out there when y'all listen. Find a way to bring them in closer to the circle. Don't chase them in the other direction. Yeah. No, chase them back into the doors. Yeah. Come be a part of this. Come figure it out.
You got to let them be them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some coaches don't know how to do that.
That's
they
right.
want to just be in control all the time.
Right.
But I think you got to let players play how they play, but in your system.
Certainly.
Or they no good to you.
That's right.
You know?
And I'm not talking about coaches. I'm not talking about behavior and discipline and those things, because I want young people to grow. You know what I mean? We all know that there's going to be fewer of us that end up like a Trey than end up, you know what I mean? Most of us is going to be sitting someplace in a barbershop or a watering hole talking about it, right? So coaches, bring them in. But here you are, you know, and so you spoke for a moment ago, and I'm interested. I think a lot of people are interested, right? And I'll share a story in a moment.
Okay.
About Trey and about you per se. But what is it like raising just kids who are high level athletes in your home? And I'm not focused. I'm talking about Amani also. I mean, it's a whole lot of us would love to have Amani in our home, right? So like, what is that like? And what is that piece? Give the parenting tip out there for them.
Well, I think for us, we was just in the grind. And it was different. So with Trey, I always tell this story. So there was probably 6, 7 dads that had sons. It was all Trey's age.
Okay.
And we were competing to get our son. At that time, we was trying to get on the hoop scoop ranking list.
Yeah.
3rd graders, 4th graders. Right. You know, we was crazy.
Right.
But we was training every day. Anytime somebody say, hey, we train at Whitehall at 2 o'clock this summer, hey, we there.
Right.
Oh, somebody might text and be like, hey, we gonna go to Afrocentric at 9 tonight. We there. We just trying to get better.
Right.
Not knowing we was competing with the other dads, but it just made all of them good.
Yeah.
All those dads, all the kids, I think went D1.
Yeah. Wow.
And I don't
out
think
of that circle that y'all had.
Yep. And I don't think we were trying per se. That wasn't the prize at that time.
Right.
We was trying to make sure they can shoot left-hand floaters. They can go left. They can pull. You know.
Certainly. The game. They can play the game.
And so when we went, me and a friend of mine, Rob Taylor.
Okay.
I know you know Rob.
Yeah.
It was crazy because man, what's the name of that? It was a camp in San Diego.
Okay.
Every kid that was talked about online was going to be there.
Okay.
So it was like, I think it was 6th, 7th, 8th graders.
Okay.
So Aaron Kraft was there.
Yeah.
Juan Staten. I mean, a lot of players all over the country.
Right.
And both with Trey and Stevie made the top 10 All-Star game.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it let us know, like, okay, we're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
At least. They went out here, competed with kids from Philly, kids from Cali.
Wherever, Houston.
And they competed.
Yeah.
So that's how it got Trey, where I think he was at. Amani was a little different. I couldn't push her like I did Trey.
Okay.
Just a little different. But we kept pushing. And I thought OU was the right fit.
Yeah.
And I think parents don't get, you got to go to the right school. And it's so hard.
Yes, you do.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
You got to have some luck, but you got to do your due diligence on the school. Do they need him or they just want him and kind of figure him out? When Trey decided to go to Michigan, they didn't have a point guard on the roster.
Okay.
So
because the one guy had just announced like maybe a month or two before, hey, I'm going to go ahead and go to the league.
Their point guard was a shooting guard that didn't want to play point.
Yeah.
Stu Douglas. So Trey went to a situation where they had to play him, even if it was off the bench 20 minutes.
Right.
Got to give him a chance.
Yeah.
So I said, Trey, this is a perfect situation for you. Amani, the coach told us, he said, Coach Bob said, I like Amani exactly the way she is as a senior. She can help us if she didn't get any better.
Right.
I said, that's your school.
There you go.
It was, we lived in Berwick.
Okay.
So we 58 miles from OU.
Yeah. You 45 minutes down the road, hour down the road.
Amani, that's your school.
Yeah.
And she felt it when she went down there. They felt the love. And then, they had Jasmine Weatherspoon.
Oh, yeah. From Northland.
Was it Tierra Black, CC from Reynoldsburg? I mean, it was...
So some Central Ohio love was there.
Always there.
Yeah.
Yep. And then her old high school coach was on the staff.
Okay, that's right. Yeah. So Tia, she ends up on the staff, I think, maybe the second year. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it was... and then Marwan.
Right, yeah. That's right.
So it was like...
almost a natural fit.
Yeah. And I was nervous because she didn't put all the work that Trey did, But I was just like, man, I just want her to get a couple minutes as a freshman.
Yeah.
Man, she ended up probably averaging 25 minutes as a freshman.
Yeah.
So now she's like, and she probably wasn't expecting that, but it was a perfect fit.
Certainly. I think something you shared, man, I don't know if you've ever reflected on it this way. What you said to me and what I heard just now, you got to know your kid. Yeah. Parents, you got to know your kid, right? Sure. Because what you just shared was you was able to push one of your kids in one fashion, the other one you pushed a different way. You know what I mean? But both of them end up being able to compete at a high level, right? Yep. And so I see some parents, man, who come to me and I'm like, you don't even really know what your child can do. You sitting here pushing X, Y, Z. That kid right there, like, don't you know? They're fighting you, and you don't even realize it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I share this as a quick story. And I think I shared this with you before. Okay. I had a guy one time came to me. It's about probably within the last 8-9 years. Share with me, hey man, my kid is the next Trey Burke. Okay. And he has seen some videos or whatever. And I share with people all the time. You can't work out and become a Trey Burke. That's not how it is. There's some natural gifts in there, right? Yeah. There's some genetics that come from a grandfather or father. You know what I mean? Okay. There's some genetics that go along with that. And I'm not saying working out doesn't help you. It does. Yeah. But you can't just work out and become that. Okay. Right? In my opinion. Yep. But I went to go watch the guy's son. And I said, man, which response do you want? Oh man, come on, V. Just tell me the real. I said, the next Trey Burke ain't on that court. Okay. Like, they ain't out there, man. Your son ain't that. I mean, that's not knocking you. But like, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't, for anybody and any parent that wants to achieve that, you know what I mean? Aim for whatever you want to aim for, but you also got to be realistic in where you at, right? Yep. And just because you go do some workout in the gym and you do some dribbling drills, don't mean all of a sudden you become X. Right. Because can you turn those things into playing on the court, right? So that's what I want to hear from you now. You played. You were doing stuff with a kid in your home. You go off to school. So what was your school experience like when you first leave Central Ohio and you go off? Share with that journey a little bit and what that was like for you. What does that do? Yeah, for college. What does that do for an 18, 19-year-old Benji?
Man, it was rough, but I had so I couldn't pass the ACT. I couldn't get the qualifying score. Okay. So I went JUCO. Okay. So I went to Northeast Oklahoma A&M. At that time, the head coach and assistant coach were Ohio guys. Okay. So on the team, half the team was already Ohio. Yeah. So when I went on the visit, Charlie Prater was there from East. Oh yeah. Frank Morrow, Raheem Davis from East.
So they just funneling people from Central Ohio. Yeah. Come get it.
So when I go there, my freshman year, my roommate is Dorsey Birdsall, who I played since middle school together.
Yes, indeed, 100%.
So I had Dorsey Birdsall, Chuck Broadneck.
Hey, and let me share this. So just in the studio, man, Dorsey is in someplace in this building somewhere, man. That's my guy, Dorsey. Yeah.
So we had maybe eight or nine Ohio kids on the team. Oh, wow. So as much as homesick as I was, I still had them, you know what I mean?
Certainly, yeah.
And so that helped. So I stayed there 2 years, ended up going.
That's beautiful right there, man. Yeah.
Side note, so when I was in my freshman year, you probably don't know these names, but Tim Worley played for the Steelers for a long time. Okay. Keith Henderson. They had about 9 pros that was on the football team. Okay. So football team won the Nationals, Yeah. So I left there and went to Northwest Missouri State, Division II in Maryville, Missouri, maybe about an hour, 20 minutes outside of Kansas City. That's where I met my wife.
Yeah, certainly.
So ended up going there. Great career, won a conference my first year. It was all conference. It was great. And it was almost, it reminds me of the MAC.
Certainly,
matter of fact, the Ohio Valley Conference.
That's 100%. Like. Okay.
Because they don't have all the schools we have. Right. You know, they got Kansas, Iowa State around there, Nebraska, but then they might have like UMKC.
Ohio is blessed in that fashion, man. Have people don't understand when you can have like a high level Big Ten, you can have a MAC, you can have an Atlantic 10 schools, and then you throw in with the recent changes in the Big East, when you can have 4 different types of conferences right here in the state, that makes for a lot of options, and it provides a different opportunity.
And I say this now to parents, and parents will be like, nah, that ain't right. It's easier now to get a Division I scholarship if you put the work in.
Okay.
That's what I feel.
Yep.
I just think if you really put the right work in, realistic with your kid, I think you can get to that level easier now than it was back in the day.
I would agree with that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
tell me why you say that, though. I'm curious if
there's a lot of different variables. You got so much social media. You got so much exposure.
Yeah.
Nowadays, kids hire legit trainers.
Certainly. And some non-legit trainers.
And some non-legit. But if you got a legit trainer, understands what that player needs work on, whether it's football, whether it's whatever.
Track, whatever you're doing.
Nowadays, that's big.
Right.
Having a trainer.
Certainly.
It ain't just a cool thing. It's like you can see results.
Right.
So I've seen Junie Mobley since he was 5 years old.
Okay.
Had a trainer.
Yeah.
But I've seen what they were working on. It wasn't just in the gym shooting around.
Right.
They legitly working.
Yeah.
Going to Ohio State.
100%.
You know, seen Sean Jones as a kid.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I've had a chance to see that process works.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll share it this way. I think I'm I'm going to make a call out to this generation, to all our youth sports people and to parents. I'm going to make a call out on y'all right now. The reason why I say it's different is because, when we were younger, the competition was different. I'm talking about not just the competition on the court. I'm talking about the competition to make the team. Tryouts brought 25, 30 guys into the gym, right, for freshmen. And so you have to compete to just get on the team, let alone then you got to compete against a crosstown school, right? And I share that because I think kids, to some degree, shy away from competition. Oh, I know I'm not going to make the team, so I don't even try out. Well, come on, man. Come on out here. Maybe you'll surprise yourself. Compete. Give yourself a chance, right? And so I see a lot of times like families and kids walk away. Don't walk away. Embrace it. If you get cut from the team or if you ain't the best on this year, get in the lab. Go work, get better, and then keep playing. You know what I mean?
So you see that more now?
I see that more now. I said that. So the reason why I think it's easier now is because I think it's less participants. I think it's less competition. You know what I mean?
You did.
You had mentioned about like everybody had bigs, and even me. So we're like kind of maybe a stretch of 7 to 10 years on generation, right? So I'm a little bit behind you, but I say that to say, I can remember seeing a Benji. I remember the first time, and I was like, man, who is this dude right here?
Right.
Like he could go, you know what I mean? And so it was easy for me, to be able to try to emulate myself after guys like you. I've heard the stories, you know what I mean? And my family is a first, so my parents are not from Columbus. Okay. So they come here, they move here, they choose this city as a place to raise their children, and we grow up here. You know what I mean? So my children are just really second generation, right, on my side. You see what I mean? So and so it was different because I'm looking around, I see guys like you that are out here getting it, and then for me, I'm going, okay, well, how can I carve out a little bit of a niche? These guys can play, right? But the competition, to me, I think is what's missing. When I see kids, it's so easy. Kids get a little frustrated. They walk away. We had an age of...
And they boys too much. They friends too much.
Certainly.
Man, I get it. So you got social media. Y'all cool. But when we stepped on the court,
let's compete. Let's compete.
I'm going at you.
Right.
Friend or not.
That's right.
And after the game, we good.
Yeah.
But on that, you're not beating me.
Right.
And I think we lost that.
Yeah.
We lost that. And I think this generation, not all, but it's almost like the quit generation because they can get, they can get food in 3 minutes delivered to them. They
100%.
can get, everything is.
That's right. It's a snap of a fingers away, man.
You know what I mean?
They
can go online and get whatever they want. They can buy stuff and it's there the same day. So I think this generation lost the competition. And so you don't have, Orton Davis, JFK.
Right.
Where, if you lose, you waiting an hour.
That's right. Just to be able to play again.
So you're playing super, super hard.
That's right. That's right.
Outside.
That's right.
I'm not letting you shoot a layup.
That's right.
I'm going to foul you first.
100%.
So I think we lost that.
And I'll share this also because when we grew up, you had to you had to finish what you started. Parents didn't let you. When you got a little frustrated, you can't get frustrated mid-season and walk away. No, you got to finish it out. You got to deal with it. Whatever it is, you got to get in there every day and finish it. And it's not really necessarily like that anymore. I share with parents, come on, encourage your kids, support them through it. If they started, encourage them through to finish it all the way out. I share that to say, so you meet your wife in college, and then here you are today, man. You come back and you've been a part of ultimately, seeing the fabric of athletics in Central Ohio. What do you share to a parent right now? Like I gave that little tidbit, but just in your own mind, man. Speaking of basketball, what do you share? What is a guy who has had all these different levels of success? You saw a competitive father be successful. As a kid, you got these great memories of basketball, and then you see your children in your own home. What do you share?
Man, I think the biggest thing is be realistic with your kid. Because some kids, they play the game because their parents want them to. So we got to find that out.
Yeah, that's what the kids say. Facts, right?
Yeah, right?
Facts, right?
So we got to find that out, and then if they're serious, let them know what it's going to take, and take them through it.
Right.
And don't be, I think also, we got younger parents now, so they're not as strict or hard on the kid. You got to put a kid through it because a coach told me once, you almost live your life the way you play the game. So you have to take them through some things.
I like that one.
You know what I mean? You gotta take them through some things to understand, man, this is not gonna be easy ever.
Right.
Ever. I mean, if you look at Trey's outside of high school, right? I mean, he's went through, outside of college, since he's been a pro, he's went through some mental battles.
Yeah.
And, get traded. Don't play. He got a DNP. He's with the Knicks, man. This is a crazy story. He was with the Knicks, right? They trying to see a young kid. They drafted a young kid. They want to see him play.
Okay.
Trey has, 28 on a Sunday against the Celtics. 28 and like 9. They lose.
Good night.
Great night.
Yeah.
Right? DNP, 4 straight nights, right?
Right.
So I don't call Trey. I say, just stay ready.
Yeah.
Go to Charlotte, 42-12. Leave Charlotte, go to like Miami, 19-8.
Right.
Then DNP.
Right.
DNP, you know what I mean? So he went through the ups and downs.
Certainly.
And I know he's fighting battles like that. So it's always going to be hard.
Yeah.
People are going to go through that as amateurs.
Right, no
he
doubt.
went through it as a pro. He didn't really go through it as an amateur because, you look at his Northland squad. And people don't know this. He won a city at Monroe.
Okay. Come on, get Monroe some love in here. Go get you some middle school love in here, man. I love that piece, man.
Yeah. So he had Jared on his team at Monroe.
Yeah.
Coach Tony Rice was the head.
Oh, was he?
Tony Rice was the head.
We just had Tony on the show, man. I wish Tony would have talked about that. Ray Spears was the assistant. Oh, wow. Yes, indeed. So some good basketball minds in the room.
They ended up beating Sherwood with J.D. Weatherspoon. And some, it was great. But so Trey's never lost a City League game ever.
Wow. Just rolling. Just kept it going.
From middle school on.
All the way through.
We left his 8th grade year. We was living in Atlanta. So, but, I say that to say, man, parents just got to be realistic, and then they got to invest their time.
Yeah.
Because it's not just dropping them off. It's not this, I get a lot of parents say, man, well, this trainer, man, I know he's good, but man, he's $65 an hour. Right. I said, go pay for college then. Yeah. What you gonna pay for?
Great point. Yeah.
What you gonna pay for?
Yeah.
Pay this little 65 that's gonna bless him. He's gonna get to where he's going.
Right.
Especially if it's a legit trainer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't want to do that.
Right.
So people got to put it in perspective.
Certainly.
It's not going to be college. It's not going to be, 40,000, 50,000.
Yeah.
So go on to pay that.
If you can find a way, go ahead and make it happen.
Most people aren't doing that.
Right.
And that's what's going to separate him.
Certainly.
You know what I mean?
And I'll share this. If you don't have those resources, it may be a little bit that you have to think awkwardly out of the box for today's time, because stuff that we did as normal. So you know what? Maybe you need to wake up, take your kid to the park, and maybe you need to be out there on that concrete. Go buy you two little cones from the dollar store, and you go put some stuff together, because maybe not everybody has that resource, right? But you certainly have the resource of time. You certainly and I share with people all the time, as much as the instant, the internet and those things can be bad. It can be good for you.
Mm-hmm.
You can log on to a YouTube, which is free, and find you thousands of videos. Mm-hmm. You may not have that person's same knowledge, but you can say, hey, look, let's go try to duplicate this, mm-hmm. right? And then maybe along the line, somebody sees the talent and the work that you've been doing, right? And they say, hey, maybe we can feed off of that. I want to stay here for one more piece, man. In your mind, you're a basketball guy. You look back, man. What's Benji's fondest memory? I want to talk about you for a moment, man. What's your fondest memory of the game? And it don't necessarily have to be triumph. It could be tragedy. A fond memory can come in tragedy. Like I look back, man. For me, I think I maybe mentioned you. I heard you say one time you was talking about maybe some of those Eastmoor teams. So I was playing and was stuck with Carlos and Lamont. We the same year. We never beat them guys. Okay. Right? We stuck with them. Yeah. My junior and senior year, we couldn't get over that hump. They beat up on us. You know what I mean? I don't mind saying it. But my fondest memories are those games. Even though we lost, my fondest memories ain't when I went out and broke the school assist record. That's it's losing to them, really, because it taught me a little something. You go home, you go, oh man, okay, we gotta try to get better. So I'm just curious, man. What's your and it could be college or whatever, man.
Man, I have a lot. I really do. But I think some of my fondest memories was after a Friday night game. God rest his soul. My guy Kevin Cook would call but we didn't even know how to use three-way.
Okay.
So Benj, call Spank.
Yeah.
Spank get on the phone. Call James Farmer. So we would have 10 or 15 guys from around the city. Yeah. To find out who did what.
Oh wow.
Before we looked in the paper.
Yeah.
And so then that Saturday we go in the hoop.
Right.
Somewhere. We trying to find and compete. Yeah. So that was one of my biggest memories because it not only did it raise the competition level, but every Tuesday, if I knew I'm going to go play against Witt, Anthony Thornton, I'm going to get, I know I got to bring it.
No doubt.
Or they're going to be talking about me. Yeah. Nowadays, you're going to be on,
you're gonna be
YouTube.
On whatever. Yeah, somebody going to put you out there, man.
So I think those are some of my fondest memories. Just, Charles Willis at Ridge. Ridge was always tough for us, South. So, it was good. It was good, though. I think those are my memories for my kids, man. When my daughter lost in the state semis, man, my wife wasn't there, and she didn't cry. She was on the court as soon as she got to me in the stands.
Oh yeah, fell apart.
So that was big for me. I couldn't go hug Trey after they lost in the national championship game, but I was hurting for him. Yeah. And I was hoping that he wasn't hurting as much as I was. Right. I was hoping I took it from him. Yeah. But they interviewed him. A good friend of mine, Jim Jackson. Yeah. Interviewed him after the game, and he looked okay. Okay. But I just know he hates losing. Trey's one of them kids, man. He could be down 8 with 7 seconds. He thinks he got it.
Somehow we can pull it out. We can still win it somehow. He don't watch that Reggie Miller video too many times, man. He think we down 7 or 8 seconds. I can whatever Reggie did, I can pull that off.
Trey thinks he can win it, man. And he's been like that since a little kid, man. And I'd be like, man, look how hard he going. Yeah. There's no way. Right. But I love that. Yeah. So it's just it's a lot, man. I mean, basketball did a lot. I tell people all the time. It almost, if it wasn't for basketball, I wouldn't have the family I have. I met my wife because of the ball. Okay. I got the family that I have because I met my wife. Yeah. I went somewhere and played basketball. Certainly. So, it means a lot to me, man. We love the game. We still respect it. I love seeing it was great. I hate that the city lost when we was out Saturday. But, man,
the recent game, man.
That hurts me all the time because I'm a city. I'm just a city guy. But it was, it's March Madness.
Certainly, 100%, man. And you know what the beauty of it is, man. I don't know that the country knows what we know. Which is Columbus, Ohio, got some great basketball, man. You go look at our stretch, and I'll put Columbus's stretch, even with the population, and it's growing now. But I'll put Columbus's stretch from 1960 to now on the map with anybody else. Anybody that want to reach out to us, find us on Instagram, whatever. I believe so. You know what I mean? Because it's been a lot of good basketball, man, that's come out of here. And guys that have gone on the high level stuff, it keeps rolling. We keep having kids out here, man. You're a fabric of that, man. I don't know how much you know the basketball community respects you and looks up to you, man. But I'm honored to have you here, man.
That's my family for real.
Certainly.
Real quick. So
certainly no.
How do we get like schools to do a football wall, basketball wall? Because I think some of these kids need to see that.
Yeah.
So every time I go in East, I don't care what it's for, I'm going to the wall first.
Yeah.
And I know I see the same, but I would love for, you look at Northland. How do they not have Jared and Trey in the wall?
Yep, 100%.
In the gym. Because it's going to be a King Kendrick. I get to see that every day.
100%. Well, and let me share it this way, right? So, like, I think what took place over a span of time is that, like, that is probably a little bit more of a recent development, because it was a lot of times that stuff really wasn't happening too much. Yeah. And so, without me getting too deep into what I inherited, okay. you kind of know, you was around, stuff. Yeah. So at a time when we wasn't even handshaking after games, right? Mm-hmm. So trying to change a culture and getting some people have been walking willingly. And others is, like if you got to drag some people along, then it's frowned upon, right? Mm. I say that to say part of this as a platform is maybe not a physical wall, but it's this virtual wall. Mm-hmm. Me saying, hey, look, I think we should be telling our own stories. We should have the Benji Burke sitting in this chair and whoever else, right? And bring them in to say, hey, look, everybody, and this is forever. You know what I mean? So even if a school gets closed, right, with all the history and memories of a Brookhaven. I remember I was there when Brookhaven closed, and all the people that came out, right? Mm-hmm. Even if a school closes, these videos are forever. Yeah. These are in the archives forever, right? And so, but I agree with you. Without us getting too deep, man, me and you can continue that conversation offline and figure out, ways in which, because some of the schools also, the challenge is they don't also have the real estate. So sometimes East is just one of them spaces that happen to have the physical wall, like when you're talking about, right? Some of them have these limited spaces, and I'm not saying that you can't find a way to put something there. I'm just saying some of them don't exist, right? Yeah. You got some schools where the entryway into what would be like a gymnasium maybe just doesn't have just the actual wall space to even make it work to some degree. Yeah. No, that's spot on, because Trey and Jared's time at Northland is certainly cemented in the legacy of, hey, look, man, like these dudes came through here and was all the way for real. And me and you could keep going. I know, because a basketball conversation could be 3-4 hours, man. Because
the first guy that started that whole thing was Devon Moore.
Yeah, Devon, yes indeed.
So he was the first brick, we say. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it wasn't real sexy to go to Northland. Yeah. It wasn't like, hey, man, I'm going to go to this powerhouse. Certainly. Devon Moore went, trusted Satch, and start building. Right. But again, you have that wall of fame. If I'm a young player, and every day I'm going by, I'm like, man, I'm looking at that like, okay. Right. I can't call off my workout today.
100%.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
That's
right. I certainly love it. They done gave me the signal a couple of times, but they about to give it to me again for the radio listeners and those that can't see it. We got to wrap it up. Okay. Hey, man, we will certainly find a way to get you back on here on the show, man. You know what I mean? Man. And give us blessings again. Okay. There's a lot more to talk about. Yeah. I got to do the outro, man, but thank you for being a guest today. No doubt. Certainly appreciate it. Sure. For all of our radio listeners out there, catch all future episodes on radio, WCBE 90.5 FM. For everybody that follows the podcast, catch us on your favorite podcast, Spotify, Apple. And for all the IG folks out there, follow us on Instagram, @City League Sports 614. This is the one and only Mr. Benji Burke. I'm your host, Vince Clarno. This is City League Sports.
Appreciate it, man.
Certainly.
Hey, hold on, y'all. We got a special guest coming on here.
We got a special guest coming on the TV screen?
We do, yeah. We have a special guest coming on here.
Hi, guys.
Whoa. Are you in town?
Hi. No, I'm on a plane right now.
Okay. Can
you see me?
They got to switch the screen.
Yeah, we can see you. I thought you were still out of town.
Look at this here. So hey, so let me tee it up. Pops. For our radio listeners, you heard us talk about Amani Burke And so the producers on it, so I didn't know this was happening either, Benji. So they got me too right now. You know what I mean? I don't know. Who do you know? Did Jordan set this up? Is Jordan behind this, Amani?
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness! So
You know this.
yeah, hey, so our radio listeners, we got Benji's daughter on the show as well, and she says she's on a plane. So hey, look, take it in. Have you been listening? Has she been able to listen?
She has, yep.
Oh wow! So you've heard?
Yes.
So
I listened to the whole thing.
come on, put Dad on the spot for me a little bit. Hey, look, Benji over here, he got this beautiful smile going on. Put Dad on the spot a little bit. What was it like growing up in the home with Dad and basketball? What's that like?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. It was very interesting. Like my dad said, he didn't push me as much as he pushed Trey, but I'm kind of glad that he did not, because, like I said, I wanted to quit like every couple.
Every summer.
So hey, so you heard Dad share that you said you're the best shooter in the Burke household. Does that? Hey, look, the floor is yours, right? Does that still hold true? Are you sticking with that proclamation?
100%, because I mean, my logic is nobody has made as many threes as me in one single game. So.
On the real, can Dad shoot with you? Can he shoot with you? If y'all get in the gym, can he shoot with you?
He can shoot with me, but he's not beating me.
Love it.
He's up there though.
Yeah.
Competitive.
Yeah, what you got, Pops? You got this surprise. I didn't know this was happening at all. What's your thought, man? You see your baby girl, like you said, you thought she was maybe out of town, man.
Yeah, she's on her way back from vacation.
Yeah.
I was hoping she was home by now, but good seeing you. I'm sure I'll see you here in a couple hours.
So for those of you that are listening, this is the Amani Burke we're talking about. You know, the Eastmoor Academy, right? We got to joke with Dad a little bit. Dad was at Eastmoor before they threw that name on the end. Hey, like I said, man, you know, y'all for me, first family of basketball, man. A lot of basketball love. It's great to have Amani pop in on the show.
Right.
She gets a seat anytime she wants, man. You know that, like I said, I've shared that with her. Was a great competitor to watch, and we had, you know what I mean, really enjoyed it, man.
Yeah.
And enjoy your blessings, man. I see you out. We see each other at a lot of games.
Yeah.
But I certainly enjoy your blessings and you being here with us, man.
Yeah, all love.
Yeah,
all love.
certainly.
Yep.